Don't skip this. You were the reason heaven wept that day. Before you even knew my name, I was already whispering yours. And the day you turned away, heaven held its breath, and then it wept. My beloved, you don't know what that moment did to the heart of God. You don't know the sound of heaven's tears, but I do. I was there. I stood at the edge of eternity watching you fall. And though angels sing, that day they didn't. That day they wept. They saw what you couldn't see, that your soul, precious beyond measure, was slipping away into the silence. And the world kept spinning, but heaven stood still. I saw you. You were sitting in your room, alone, angry, confused, wondering if I even existed. I saw your tears fall into the darkness, and my hands reached through the veil between time and eternity, but you didn't know it was me. You thought no one noticed your pain. But my child, I felt it as if it were my own because it was. Every tear you've cried, every question you've whispered, every wound you've hidden, they reached me, and that's why heaven wept. It wasn't just because you sinned. No, my beloved, sin doesn't surprise heaven. It wept because you forgot who you are. You believed the lies. You believed you were alone. You believed that darkness had won. And in that belief, you turned your face away from mine. Oh, how I wanted to run to you. But I will never force my love on you. Love that is forced is not love at all. So I waited. And while I waited, I wept. Let me tell you what heaven saw that day. Heaven saw a child formed by my hands, spoken into existence with my breath, woven together with purpose, destiny, and light, falling into despair. And though the armies of heaven stood ready, though angels could have moved mountains, I said, no, wait, because I gave you the gift of choice. I gave you the ability to love me freely or to walk away. And that's why heaven wept. Because even though I could part seas, even though I could stop time, I wouldn't take away your freedom. My child, you've heard people say God doesn't care, but they're wrong. I cared enough to die. I cared enough to leave heaven's throne, to wear your shame, your guilt, your sorrow, to feel every thorn pressed into my brow. Do you know what I saw from the cross? I saw your face. I saw the moment you would feel unworthy. I saw the day you would question your value. I saw you scrolling, searching, aching for something real. And I said, it is finished, not just for the world, but for you. But still, that day came, the day you walked away, the day you doubted I was real, the day you gave up on hope. And heaven wept, not in anger, not in judgment, but in heartbreak. Because love that deep, when ignored, hurts more than you can imagine. But my child, listen to me now. Heaven also hopes. Even in the silence, it waits. Even in the pain, it believes. Even in your darkest hour, I never stopped loving you. This is not just a story. This is your rescue. I am not just a name. I am your Savior. And what made heaven weep can now make it rejoice if you return. Will you listen this time? Will you stop running? Will you give me just a moment to remind you why you were created, why you matter, why I died for you? Let me walk with you now. Don't scroll away, because what I'm about to tell you will change everything.
My child, I remember that day as if it was etched in eternity. Heaven stood still. The angels held their breath. The Father's heart trembled with grief, because the world had turned its face away from love. Not hatred, not judgment, not violence, but love, pure, patient, everlasting love. And still, they chose darkness. I watched souls laugh at mercy. I watched hearts close their doors to grace. I saw my name mocked on the lips of the very ones I created in love. I heard the cry of the innocent, the forgotten, the abused, and I saw my people look the other way. And heaven wept. Not out of anger, not out of revenge, but out of deep, holy sorrow. You see, you don't realize, every time you choose to reject me, you don't just turn your back on religion. You walk away from the one who bled to give you life. Every time you chase after the world's applause, you leave my arms empty, waiting. Every time you harden your heart, you silence the whispers of heaven calling your name. The Father watched, and he wept. I saw him turn his face as his children exchanged the truth for lies. And the angels, they could not sing that day. Do you know why heaven wept that day? Because we saw what could have been. We saw your freedom crushed by chains you chose. We saw your healing abandoned for wounds you refused to surrender. We saw your joy swallowed by false pleasures. We saw you, yes, you, beloved, beautiful, chosen, believing you were worthless. That was the day you believed the lie. The day you thought no one cared. The day you said, I'm too far gone. The day you thought you weren't enough. Oh, child, we wept not because you were broken, but because you wouldn't let us heal you. I stood at the door of your heart. I knocked, but you didn't answer. You were too busy trying to survive, too lost in trying to prove your worth, too tired from the world's demands. And so heaven wept for what you could have known but never accepted. Do you know what it's like to cry for someone who doesn't even know you're crying for them? That was me, watching you fall asleep in pain when I was ready to give you peace, watching you fight battles alone when I was waiting to fight for you. I saw your tears on your pillow. I heard the scream you never voiced. I felt the emptiness in your chest that no one saw. And I wept because I was so close, but you didn't see me. I whispered to you through songs. I called you through sunsets. I reached for you in silence, but the noise of the world drowned me out. And yet, I never stopped loving you. My love never paused, never dimmed, never turned away. Even while heaven wept, my heart burned with hope, because I knew one day you would hear me. One day your ears would open, your heart would soften, and your eyes would finally see that I was the one you were searching for. You see, my beloved, heaven's tears are not weakness. They are holy. They are sacred. They come from a place of divine longing, a longing to see you whole, to see you healed, to see you home. So many think I came to make people religious, but I didn't. I came for the broken, the misfits, the doubters, the ashamed. I came for the one who thinks they're too far gone. I came for you. I chose the cross so you would never again question if you are loved. I embraced death so you could embrace life. I was abandoned so you would never have to be. And even now, if you would only pause, if you would just be still for a moment, you would hear it. The quiet sound of heaven still weeping for the ones who haven't yet turned around, but also rejoicing for every heart that takes one small step toward me. Child, don't run anymore. Don't shut me out. I know you've been hurt. I know you've been disappointed, but I am not like the world. I don't lie. I don't cheat. I don't leave. I heal. I stay. I restore. Heaven is waiting. I am waiting. And the moment you say yes, all of heaven will rise in celebration. The angels who once wept will now sing, because the prodigal came home, because the one who was lost has been found. Come closer now. There's more I need to show you, more I need to say. But for now, let these words sink deep. You are loved. You are wanted. You are mine. Heaven wept that day, but today it hopes, because you're still listening, and that means your heart is still beating, and as long as you're breathing, there's still time to come home.
My child, let me take you back to the moment the angels trembled, to the moment when all of heaven, perfect, glorious, eternal, suddenly became quiet. Yes, there was a day when even heaven wept. Why? Because you were in danger, and you didn't even know it. You were walking toward a cliff with a smile on your face, and every step you took tore through my heart like a blade. I sensed signs. I whispered warnings. I stirred your heart to look my way, but the noise of the world kept drowning me out. Heaven doesn't weep because it is weak. Heaven weeps when love is rejected. Heaven weeps when light is offered and darkness is chosen instead. That day, your name was written in heaven's tears. Yes, your name. Because when I saw you giving your heart to things that would only break it, I couldn't stay silent. I cried out to the Father, "Give them more time. I will go again. I will speak again. I will knock again." Because you are worth it to me. Because love doesn't give up, even when it's ignored. There was a moment when you thought you were alone, but I was there, kneeling beside your bed while you cried into your pillow. I caught every tear. I counted every breath. And I whispered, "Please, just look up. I'm still here." The day heaven wept was the day you stopped believing you mattered. But I never stopped believing in you. Child, do you know what it's like to be the King of Glory and still choose a cross over a crown, just for a chance to win your heart? That's what I did. That's why heaven broke. Because love laid itself down, and so many still walk past the cross without a second glance. I remember the sound of heaven the day your heart hardened. I remember the hush that fell over the angels. They didn't sing that day. They prayed. They prayed you would hear my voice again. They prayed you would remember the one who never left you. You see, every soul is known in heaven. Every name echoes in the chambers of glory. And when one begins to drift into darkness, the very stars seem to dim. But listen to me now. Just as heaven wept for you once, heaven can rejoice again because of you. Yes, the day you turn back, the day you take one trembling step toward me, all of heaven will rise in celebration. Don't think you've fallen too far. Don't believe the lie that says you're too broken. I specialize in resurrection. I don't just fix things. I make them new. That day heaven wept. It wasn't just about sadness. It was about hope deferred. It was about a father longing to embrace his child. But my mercy isn't short-lived. I am not giving up on you now. I'm still calling. I'm still reaching. And right now, I'm speaking again. Let me have your heart, beloved. Don't wait for more pain to wake you up. You've suffered enough. You've wandered long enough. Let the healing begin. Let the tears of heaven become songs of joy again. When you speak my name, even in a whisper, even in your weakness, all of heaven listens. And I, your Jesus, come running. Because you are my joy. You are my reason. The cross was never a punishment I endured. It was a rescue mission I chose. I chose it for you.
My beloved child, let me take you deeper now into the sorrow that pierced heaven and the mercy that held it back. Heaven wept that day, not just because of what was happening in the world, but because of the hearts that had grown cold, the ones who used to burn with love for me, but let the fire go out. Do you remember, my child, when you first felt me near, when your heart leapt at my name, when tears came easily, not from pain, but from love? Heaven remembers. And when heaven saw how many forgot that first love, how many stopped talking to me, stopped believing, stopped hoping, it wept. Because even angels who cannot feel what you feel could not hold back their sorrow at watching so many drift away. They looked down and saw a generation chasing the wind, looking for love in everything but me. They saw hearts bruised by betrayal, minds filled with confusion, lives thrown into chaos, all because they no longer trusted the one who made them. And so heaven wept. But listen closely. Even in those tears, there was hope. Because my Father never weeps without a plan for restoration. When the prodigal ran far away, the Father stood watching, waiting, not with anger, but with open arms. And He's still doing that today. For you, for them, for the world. Do you think you've gone too far to return? Let me tell you something I want you to tattoo upon your heart. There is no distance so great that my love cannot cover it, no pit so deep that my mercy cannot reach it. I saw you even on the day you wanted to give up. You told no one. You just sat in silence, thinking, what's the point anymore? That day, heaven wept too. But not because you were hopeless. No. Heaven wept because I was so close to you, so ready to step in, to rescue, to breathe new life, if only you would call my name. I stood beside you, and I'm still here. And now, I must tell you about the day the heavens thundered because of injustice. The cries of the innocent, the children abandoned, the tears of the widows, the silence of the abused, they reached my Father's ears. Do you think your pain goes unnoticed? It doesn't. Every injustice on this earth writes a line in the scrolls of heaven. And one day, the judge of all will open those scrolls and answer with holy fire. That's why I cry out to you now, not in wrath, but in warning, because I long to shelter you from what is coming. This is not the end yet, but it is a foreshadowing. You've seen storms increase, hearts grow colder, truth mocked. You've watched as what is evil is celebrated, and what is good is silenced. Do not be fooled. These are not just trends, they are signs. The earth groans, the angels watch, and the Spirit still whispers, "Come
home. Come back before it's too late. If you feel your heart racing now, if you feel me pulling you, don't ignore it. That's not emotion, that's me reaching for you. Because you matter to me. Not because of what you've done, not because of what you can offer, but because you are mine. You were always mine. I watched you take your first breath. I have numbered every hair on your head. I have wept when you wept and smiled every time you turned toward me. And I am still here, calling. The pain you've walked through, it will not be wasted. The shame you've carried, it can be lifted. The fear you've hidden, it can be cast out. But you must let me in. Heaven weeps when hearts reject love, but heaven rejoices when even one soul says yes to me. Let today be that day. Don't wait for a better time. There will never be a more urgent moment than now. Come to me, and I will carry you through what is coming. There is mercy in my hands, refuge in my presence, and life, eternal life, if you'll just say yes. Is the sound of heaven no longer weeping, but singing? Because when even one heart returns to me, heaven dances. Let that heart be yours.
My beloved, the tears of heaven still fall, because the hearts of many grow colder by the hour. I have watched generation after generation search for purpose, in success, in people, in possessions, yet they forget the one who shaped their soul. I created you to love me and be loved by me, but many have traded this eternal love for temporary illusions. They run after things that will never heal them. They give their hearts to people who only break them. They silence my voice with noise, and when I whisper, "Come home," they turn away. That day, heaven wept because the world celebrated sin and mocked righteousness, because truth was called hate and darkness was embraced as light. They laughed at my name. They used my cross as decoration, not as the sign of sacrifice it truly is. Do you understand now, my child, why heaven groaned? Because while angels waited with open arms, the world walked into fire with smiles on their faces. I saw children raised without prayer, homes without love, churches filled with performance but empty of power, and souls perishing just one decision away from salvation. Heaven wept, not because I couldn't stop it, but because I gave them a choice, and they chose everything but me. My heart broke for the ones who knew me once, but left when life grew hard, who said, "Where were you, God?" and forgot that I was the one carrying them the entire time. I saw pastors preaching for applause and prophets speaking for profit. I saw altars abandoned and truth twisted into comfort. My child, do you see why that day shattered the silence of heaven? Because for every soul who walked away, I still knew their name. I still bore the scars. I still longed for their return. I never stopped loving them.
Heaven isn't just some faraway paradise. It's the home I made for you, where there are no more tears, no more pain, no more death. But I won't force you to enter. I knock, I whisper, I wait. Because love never forces. Love invites. That day, heaven wept, because the invitation was ignored, because the door was closing and many were still asleep. Wake up, my beloved, the hour is far spent. You still have time, but not forever.
My beloved child, that day heaven wept, not only for the brokenness of the world, but for the silence of those who once carried my flame. Where were my watchmen on the walls? Where were the voices crying out in the wilderness? Where were those who once burned with holy fire? So many who were once bold now hide behind fear. So many who once sang songs of faith now drown in compromise. I watched with tears in my eyes as those I anointed stopped praying, stopped believing, stopped loving. They grew tired. They were wounded. They felt abandoned. And no one told them that I never left. Heaven wept because they thought I had forgotten them, but I never did. Even when they cursed my name, I whispered theirs before the Father. Even when they fell into sin, I stretched out my hands again and again. I loved them at their lowest. I fought for them in silence. I surrounded them with mercy when they deserved judgment. And still, many walked away. That day, I saw altars empty, but stages full. I saw the hungry ignored, while my word collected dust on shelves. I wept because many seek healing, but they do not seek me. They want peace, but not the Prince of Peace. They want miracles, but not the Maker of heaven and earth. My heart breaks because they don't know what they're missing. They chase the wind, temporary pleasures, shallow promises, empty highs. But in the secret place of my presence, there is fullness of joy. There is rest for your soul. There is a love that never dies. My child, even now, heaven is watching. Angels wait at attention. Your name is still written in my scars. Come back. Return before the door closes. Let me hold you again. Let me restore what the enemy stole. I know they hurt you. I know you feel unworthy. I know the pain has made it hard to trust. But my love is deeper than your pain. My cross is heavier than your sin. My mercy reaches lower than your failure. I have not changed. I am still the same Jesus who walked beside you when you were a child, the same one who caught your tears when no one else saw, the same one who protected you from dangers you never even knew were near. You may have changed, but I remain. That's why heaven wept that day, because I remembered them, but they had forgotten me. Even now, my voice reaches out like a wave in the desert. I'm still calling, still pleading. Please, my child, don't let this moment pass.
My beloved, that day heaven wept because it saw what you could have become but didn't. The angels wept not only for the pain you endured, but for the crown you laid down, the calling you buried, the fire you allowed the world to extinguish. You were born for more than survival. You were born for glory. You were shaped for purpose, marked with heaven's breath, and sent into the world as a light that darkness could not comprehend. But the moment you believed the lie that you were worthless, that you were alone, that you were forgotten, a part of your soul dimmed. And I watched you retreat. You stopped dreaming. You stopped believing I could still use you. You thought it was too late. But oh, my child, I never gave up on you. That day, heaven wept because you didn't see what I still saw in you. I still saw the leader in you. I still saw the worshiper, the warrior, the intercessor, the prophet, the servant with a heart of gold, the little one who used to sing to me with pure love in their voice. I still saw my image in you, though it was buried beneath shame, regret, and fear. I saw you not as the world does, not as broken, too far gone, or unqualified. I saw you as mine. I formed you in your mother's womb, not by accident, but with intention. I planted eternity in your heart, and nothing can separate you from my love. Not failure, not betrayal, not addiction, not wandering, not even death. I came for the lost sheep, and if you're hearing this, you are not lost beyond my reach. My arms are still open. The scars in my hands still bear your name. The blood I shed still speaks mercy over your life. Come back to me, not because I'm angry, but because I miss you. You were never just a number to me. You were never just one among billions. You are my beloved, my chosen, my treasure. And the enemy has lied to you long enough. He told you I was done with you. He told you your sin disqualified you. He told you I moved on. But he is the father of lies. And today I silence his voice in your life. You are not forsaken. You are not unwanted. You are not too far gone. You are mine. That day, heaven wept because you forgot who you were. But today can be the day heaven rejoices because you remembered.
My beloved, that day heaven wept because you believed the silence meant I was absent. But I was never absent. I was just closer than your breath, sitting with you in the ashes, holding you in the invisible. When the world left you, I stayed. You looked at the unanswered prayers and thought I didn't care. But what you didn't see was how I was guarding you from things you didn't even know would destroy you. You thought the delay meant denial, but it was divine protection. You thought I had rejected you, but I was reshaping your heart to carry something greater. You asked me why you had to wait. You wept when doors slammed in your face. You blamed yourself. You blamed me. And still, I loved you through it all. Do you know how often I stood by your bedside at night, watching your chest rise and fall, whispering hope into your soul when no one else even knew you were breaking? Do you know how often I surrounded you with angels when you walked down dark roads? How I spared you from battles you never even saw? Child, you've only seen the storms I allowed, not the ones I stopped before they ever touched you. That day heaven wept because you didn't see the 1,000 ways I saved you.
because you mistook my patience for my absence. But I was writing a better story than the one you begged me for. I wasn't ignoring you. I was preparing you. And I know, it didn't feel like it. You were in pain. You were tired. You were drowning in unanswered questions. But I wasn't afraid of your anger. I wasn't offended by your tears. I welcomed every scream, every whispered why, every silent sob. Because I would rather have your raw, hurting heart than your distant fake worship. I didn't come for performance. I came for the real you. Even when you shut me out, I stayed. Even when you cursed my name, I still called yours with love. Even when you doubted me, I never doubted you. You are still the one I chose, still the one I died for, still the one I wait for, every day. That day heaven wept, because the enemy tried to convince you that I'd moved on. But I haven't. I never did. I never will. My heart still beats for you, and the sound of your name still brings joy to my Father. You think your past disqualifies you? I say your story is about to become someone else's healing. You think you're too late? I say I am the God who restores years the locusts have eaten. You think you have wasted too much time? I say I can redeem it in a moment. You think your heart is too broken? I say, blessed are the brokenhearted, because I'm near to them. You don't need perfect words. You don't need a spotless record. You don't need to fix yourself before you return. Just turn. That's all I've ever asked. Come as you are, and watch what I can do with surrender. You've tried everything else. You've searched in people, in success, in distractions, in noise. None of it healed you. None of it stayed. None of it loved you like I do. That day heaven wept, because your heart ran from the only one who truly knew how to hold it. But my arms are still open. I don't care if you're limping. I don't care if you're bleeding. I don't care if you're ashamed. Just come. Come with your guilt. Come with your doubts. Come with your addictions. Come with your questions. Come with your mess. I already saw it. I already carried it on the cross. You don't have to carry it anymore. Let it go. Lay it down. Let me heal you. That day heaven wept, but today all of heaven will rejoice if your heart just whispers, Jesus, I want you again.
My child, come closer still. You have heard my voice through many storms, through many whisperings in the silence of your tears. But today I speak louder, not to scare you, but because time is short and the sound of the world has grown deafening. That day when heaven wept, the earth trembled, but you didn't see it. The sky darkened, but you didn't ask why. That was not just a moment in history. That was a warning, a final cry from the heart of God, reaching out to a generation that had turned its face away. Oh, my beloved, how long will you look everywhere but up? How long will you chase what does not last? The tears in heaven that day were not just for one tragedy. No, child, they were for millions who chose the fleeting over the eternal. Souls who were too busy scrolling, too busy posting, too busy pretending to smile when their hearts were crumbling inside. Do you understand? When heaven weeps, it is not because I am weak. It is because my love is too strong to stay silent. When the angels cry, it is not for themselves, it is for you. They see what's coming. They know the hour. They have heard the trumpet placed to the lips of the archangel. It is close, so very close now. And still I wait. Still I plead. I do not desire that any should perish, but that all would come to repentance. Yes, you too. You who feel too far gone. You who think you've made too many mistakes. You who keep pushing me away, thinking I've given up on you. I haven't. Not once. Not for a second. Even when you denied me, I was there. Even when you cursed my name, I whispered yours in love. Even when you wept alone in the dark and thought no one saw you, I was kneeling beside you, weeping with you. That's why heaven wept that day, because I saw the pain you'd carry. I saw the lies you'd believe. I saw how this world would twist your heart, confuse your mind, and steal your hope. But even more, I saw the day you'd finally hear me. I saw this moment. Yes, this very moment right now. You reading this, hearing my words with trembling hands and eyes welling with tears. This is not an accident. I orchestrated this moment for you because I want you back. I want your heart. Not your perfection, not your performance, not your image or your following. Just you. The real you. The broken you. The doubting you. The angry, tired, desperate, tired of waiting you. Let me tell you something that will shake the chains off your soul. I don't love you because you're good. I love you because I am good. I don't stay because you are strong. I stay because I am faithful. And I didn't die for the cleaned up version of you. I died for the mess you tried to hide. I died for the real, unfiltered you. Heaven wept that day because you still didn't know what your life meant to me. But now you're beginning to feel it, aren't you? That warmth in your chest, that tug in your spirit, that is me. That is your Savior calling your name in the deepest part of your being. Will you answer? Or will you let this be another moment that slips away in the noise of the world? Child, the war for your soul is raging. I don't want you to be another victim of spiritual sleep. The enemy doesn't mind if you're busy. He doesn't care if you go to church or post a Bible verse, as long as you stay numb inside. But I came to awaken you, to set your heart on fire again, to make you alive, not just existing, to make you burn with purpose, with clarity, with love. The kind of love that turns your tears into weapons. The kind of faith that makes demons tremble when you wake up. That's what I put inside you, and no devil in hell can steal it from you unless you hand it over. Don't give up now. Don't silence your soul just to blend in with a world that is perishing. Heaven wept because they saw how many of my children would forget they were made for more. But now it's your time. Rise. Even if you feel like you're crawling. Even if your heart is cracked wide open. Even if your past screams louder than your future. Come anyway. I will meet you in the brokenness. I will wrap my arms around you and show you a love that doesn't flinch at your scars. Because
Your scars are beautiful to me. They tell a story the enemy tried to silence. They are proof that you made it, proof that you still have a purpose, proof that I never let go. Will you let me into that place? That locked room in your heart where the memories still bleed? You don't have to fix it first. Just open the door. I already see it, and I'm not afraid. Let my light in. Let my voice drown out every lie you've believed. You are not unlovable. You are not forgotten. You are not too far gone. You are mine. Heaven will not weep over you again. No, child. Heaven will rejoice because you're coming home. Not just one day far in the future, but now, right here, right in this.
My beloved child, do you still hear me? Do you still feel my voice brushing against your soul like a whisper in the wind? Even now, I am here. Even now, I am reaching for you. Your name is engraved upon my hands. I could never forget you, not even for a moment. That day, the day heaven wept, it wasn't just because of pain. It was because of love. Because of the love I carried in my heart for you. A love so fierce, so enduring, that even the angels stood still to watch. My child, do you realize, when you were curled up in sorrow, when your chest ached from silent cries you could not explain, when you stared at your ceiling, asking, God, where are you? I was there. On that very night, heaven wept, because your pain echoed through eternity, and it touched the Father's heart. You were never abandoned. You were never unwanted. You were never alone. The enemy wanted you to believe that no one saw you. He whispered that no one cared, that you were forgotten, too broken to matter. But my beloved, I saw every shattered piece of you, and I held them like treasure. You don't have to be perfect to be mine. You don't have to have all the answers. You only need to surrender. I am not looking for performance. I'm looking for your heart. The same heart that trembles. The same heart that has been betrayed, misunderstood, and exhausted. Yes, that heart is precious to me. Let me speak life into you now. Let me wash over your doubts. Let me stand in the gap between you and the despair that's been trying to take you under. Come closer. Let everything else fade. Forget what the world has told you about your worth. I want you to hear it from my lips. You are loved. You are seen. You are chosen. You are wanted. There is a place in my Father's house with your name on it, a place no one else can fill, a seat that has been waiting for you. Heaven wept that day because your soul was aching, and the Father couldn't stand to watch you carry it alone. That's why I came. That's why I suffered. That's why I died. Not just for humanity, but for you. You who feel like you've messed up too many times. You who are afraid that you've gone too far. You who smile in public but weep when no one's looking. I know it all, and still I choose you. I choose to stay. I choose to fight for your heart again and again, even when you walk away. My mercy was not a one-time gift. It flows new every morning, like sunrise over your shame, like spring over your winter. You are not a lost cause. You are my beloved. And when you finally fall to your knees, when you finally let the tears come, I will be there, arms open wide. I will run to you. Yes, run. Do you know that that's what I do for the broken? I run. When the prodigal came home, I didn't wait. I ran. When you turn even slightly toward me, I run, because I cannot contain my joy. I cannot hold back my love. You are not disqualified. You are not too far gone. The scars you hide are not a reason for me to walk away. They are the reason I ran toward the cross. You thought no one could understand the depth of your pain, but I do. I carried it. I tasted it. I bled for it. So now, in your darkest valley, let me walk with you. Let me whisper hope into the places where despair has tried to build a home. You don't have to carry it all. You don't have to be strong on your own. Come, lean on me. Let your head rest on my chest, and let me hold you while you cry. Even now, angels are surrounding you, not to judge, but to guard, not to condemn, but to comfort. There's still time, child. There's still time to return. There's still time to break free. I haven't given up on you, not even for a moment. Heaven wept that day because love cannot stay silent when its beloved suffers. And I weep with you still. But my tears are not hopeless. They are tears of longing, of promise, of a fierce and unstoppable love that refuses to let go. So come back to me. Lay your guilt down. Lay your shame down. Lay your secrets, your regrets, your fears. You're not too heavy for me. You never were. You are the reason heaven still watches, still waits, and I, your Savior, still stand at the door, knocking. Will you open?
My beloved, before the world was formed, I saw this moment. I saw you, wounded, tired, fighting battles that no one else could see, and I wept. Not because you were weak, but because I knew how much you would endure before you found your way home to me. Let me tell you what many have never truly understood. Heaven does not weep out of fear. Heaven weeps out of love. The day you fell to your knees, thinking you were alone, the day you questioned if I'd abandoned you, the day you held your breath, hoping someone, anyone, would see the pain behind your smile, yes, my child, heaven wept that day. Because we felt your ache. We heard the scream behind your silence. And while the world moved on, I leaned in closer. I whispered, I'm still here, even now, especially now. You see, heaven weeps not because we are powerless, but because love feels deeply. And I am love. Let me show you another moment when heaven wept. It was when you were a child, when someone you trusted broke that trust, when they spoke words over your soul that pierced deeper than any wound. You held it in, you told no one, but I saw it. I was there. And though your voice was quiet, my heart thundered with anguish. I gathered every shattered piece of you that day, and child, I never let go.
Many think heaven is only filled with celebration, and yes, there is joy beyond measure. But my Father, the angels, and I, we are not far off observers. We walk with you in the fire. Heaven wept the day you almost gave up on your life. The day you stared at the ceiling and said, "God, are you even real?" And child, I was sitting right beside you. You didn't feel me, but I was cradling your spirit, protecting you from a darkness that wanted to take you under. And heaven held its breath, because your life matters to us more than you could ever understand. I want you to imagine this moment. A young woman is sitting in her room, scrolling through her phone, tears staining her pillow. She thinks no one cares, but she doesn't know that I've sent this very message to her screen, because I love her. A man is in his car, fists clenched on the steering wheel, contemplating whether to leave everything behind. But I'm whispering into his heart, "Don't, not yet. Come to me first." Heaven weeps, not because you're lost, but because you were made to be found. And we will move mountains to bring you home. Do you know why your life is so fiercely attacked? Because you carry something eternal inside of you. Something hell fears. Something heaven treasures. You were made in my image. Every scar you hide, I wear as my own. Every tear you've cried, I've counted. Not one has fallen unnoticed. Heaven wept the day the world chose violence over love, revenge over mercy, pride over humility. When children grew up in homes without love, when the strong crushed the weak instead of protecting them, when my name was used to wound instead of heal. Yes, heaven wept. But that was not the end. Because on another day, when the world thought all hope was lost, I hung on the cross. And I wept too, not for myself, but for you. I saw your sin. I saw your fear. I saw the betrayal, the heartbreak, the questions, the emptiness. And I said, "It is finished." That cry was not of defeat. It was a declaration, a roar through time and eternity that shouted, "You are no longer alone." So listen, child, you don't have to hide anymore. Let me carry the things that have crushed your soul. Let me sit with you in your grief. Let me speak over you the truth this world has tried to drown out. You are mine, and I am not ashamed of you. Do you feel that stirring in your chest right now? That's me. That's the sound of heaven drawing near. I'm not waiting for you to be perfect. I never asked you to earn my love. All I ever wanted was your heart, your real, raw, broken, doubting, confused, hurting heart. Because I can heal what no one else can. I can restore what this world has stolen. The very moment you whispered, "Help me," even if it was in your thoughts, even if it was just a tear, heaven heard it, and heaven moved. Yes, heaven weeps when my children hurt, but heaven also rejoices when even one soul turns back. And that is why I'm speaking to you right now. because I see something in you that you've forgotten. A purpose, a calling, a light. You don't have to be strong every day. You just need to let me be strong in you. Will you trust me now? Don't wait for the storm to pass. Let me walk with you through it. The tears of heaven are not a sign of failure. They are a sign of love deeper than words. And if you've ever doubted that you're worth saving, remember this: I died for you, and I'd do it again. Now rest, beloved. Heaven is still near, and your story is not over.